Hello guys, this is Killer Claw Studios. Yes, I'm back. Like the new look of me? Well, I've been wondering quite some time what sort of videos to do now that I finished the Paleoverse. So, I figured, why not do a review of something? But, and again, what should I review? And then I decided on A Dinosaur Story, The Long Voyage by zainreborn, a remake of the original. So if any of you haven't seen this, then I highly suggest you do. It's amazing. Okay, let's get into the review. So, this review will be separated into 3 parts. One about the story, the characters, and the humor, as well as some things that I disliked. And trust me, it's not a lot that I disliked. But anyways, let's get into the review. The story isn't really different. It's a remake, of course. But I do like this one better. It's basically the same as the original. Dinosaurs finds out there's a flash flood coming, he builds a boat, saves a bunch of dinosaurs, they go on adventures. But it's actually kind of better. You've of course got all of the locations of the first one. You got the boat, you got the iceberg, deserted island, all that kind of stuff. And yes, it is pretty much just copy-pasted from the first one, from the original. But I think that was a good decision from zainre. Because he literally just made an original of the remake from the original. And what I mean by that is that he made it in his own style. So he remade the original in a more 2020 style. Better camera, better writing, better characters, all that stuff. But I do kind of miss the part where the boat got split into pieces. But that's just me. The characters, on the other hand, have had major changes to them. Of course, you still have characters that are basically identical to the ones that they had in the past, but there are a few exceptions. Of course, you got characters like Saltosaurs, Stegosaurs, and basically everyone else that's basically a minor character. But then you have characters that have been either revamped or added in order to make it more different from the original. Dinosaurs, for example, is way more selfish than he was in the original, and he goes for a pretty good redemption arc, actually. Ceratosaurus is a completely different beast. In this story, he is racist against Allosaurs, and yeah, it makes for a pretty good character, actually. Also, zainre, please tell me that his backstory is a reference to Jurassic Fight Club, cause it just has to be. Then there are the Saltosaurs, who are basically identical, but with one big difference. They're married. Yeah, one is male and the other is female. Also, one of them has a particular character quirk where he's pretty panicky. This is basically in order to compensate for the loss of the rubbery neck Saltosaurus that we had in the original, and I think it's pretty okay. Very okay, if you ask me. The Placolis is an entirely different beast because, not of his characterization, but because of how he looks. They actually brought him to life with Jurassic World Alive, which is, in my opinion, very cool of them to do. The Stegosaurs are basically the same as they were in the original, but I do like how the Stegosaur, one of the Stegosaurs, the ones that survived the attack at sea, you know the one I'm talking about, actually says to Nosaurus what's wrong with him, what he doesn't do right. Basically, he knocks some sense into Nosaurus, which is good. Then there's Ceratosaurus Jr., the son of Ceratosaurus. And his character trait is talking very fast. It's a little annoying, but anything for character. Crocodile is basically the same as his original, but the voice doesn't really fit him. If you've seen the movie, then I think you'll understand. What they do with the Dilophosaurus in the film is great. And if you haven't seen the original, then I highly hope that you click off, because there's major spoilers for both this one and the the original. He isn't really made out to be the villain yet, so that's cool. He's really more manipulative with Noasaurus, trying to get him to his side. And I do like that. It's a good characterization. Then there are also characters who were put in order to make stuff more interesting, like King Terry, the leader of the Valley of the Dinosaurs. Parasaurolophus, basically his enforcer. The Brachiosaurs, who are the Ultrasaurs in this, very nice change as well, are now also have names. They are Arms and Bailey. They're also basically the same as their originals. They were basically the same as the original, but they have names, so there's that. Now, of course, you also have the French chef, who stays pretty much the same, but the other Allosaurus is a little different. Alan Slasher, my favorite character in the film. He basically has this whole movie star kind of vibe to him. Like, he just reminds me of Phil Swift, and I don't know why. Then there are also some other characters that come at the later point in the movie. There is a pair of Tropicanathus, of course the Dilophosaurus, Tremor the Mammoth, who is completely new, as well as 3 new dinosaurs, Dracorex, Protoceratops, and what I think is a Thanatosaurus. But this also includes another favorite character of mine, Captain Mono, a Modonicus that's the captain of the rescue boat that they escaped with the deserted island, from the deserted island. They basically took a no-one character and made him into a brand new character, which is fun. And then of course there's the main villain of this movie, the Mosasaurus, who's a replacement of the Elasmosaurus of the original. And I really like it. It's just so much more intimidating than a simple Elasmosaur. And I like it. And the humor in this is amazing. Zainri, well done with every single one of the jokes you've made. For a start, I love the narrator voice. The fact that you made it the SpongeBob narrator, it cracked me up the first time I heard it. A lot of the other jokes are also amazing. Some of the jokes in the movie actually made me laugh out loud, which doesn't really happen all that much. Well done on that, Zainri. But there are of course things I dislike. One of which being the Dimetrodon, who is now called Red Dimetrodon. And what I hate about this is his characterization. Like, he's basically the same as Ceratosaurus. He's racist, but more towards dinosaurs. And the best explanation I could find is that he hates them because they took over from synapsids, and in my opinion that doesn't really make any sense. If you're watching this Zainri, please give him a backstory. It would really suit him to have a better reasoning for hating dinosaurs. Coming back to the Saltosaurus, I cannot tell which one's the male and which one's the female. It might be only me, but I just can't tell the difference. Zainri, please tell me which one's the male and which one's the female. And my last complaint, Zainri, where are the Apatosauruses? I mean, you have all these other characters, but you don't have the Apatosauruses. When are they going to come? And I can kind of understand because, yeah, they are quite hard to put in. But you can take any route with them. Oh well. This is a film trilogy, so I hope they're in the next one. Right? Overall, A Dinosaur Story The Long Voyage is the best remake I've ever seen, and it gets a solid 10 out of 10 on the scoring. That's it for me. Killer Claw Studios. Until next time, everyone, peace out.